How's it going, YouTube? Hope you guys are enjoying the day today. We're still in the self-isolation for the COVID, but I do need to get some exercise in. I felt my hips getting tight. But just something very quickly here. I've been doing my meditations while I walk right now, but I also try and double up by doing a standard style meditation when I have, enough of a block of time to do like 20-30 minutes. But I think that we get stuck behind things that we excuse ourselves from truly, internalizing and really fleshing out the reasoning behind our actions when we know that we should be doing other than what we're actually executing. And that was a mouthful, but so basically what I'm trying to say is that there's instances we're growing up, at least in my generation, my people. I'm 24 right now, so I'm definitely hitting an age that I'm starting to feel some sort of ripeness to some abilities, and yet still very young in the game, so I want to do more, right? But so I know that for my pursuit, I decided on business being a major part of my path, and then there's also the creative aspects and other, very specific hobbies and skills that I'm building for specific businesses like art, or even food, fitness, stuff like that. As you can tell, I'm getting slightly leaner. We're getting there slowly but surely. But of course, I'm taking my time. I'm trying not to do it too much. I haven't been fasting every day. But that's besides the point. The point is that I learned things to help me accomplish my goals, and many very successful people do so because it's the only way. Other than that, you don't really have a chance to really flourish. There's only so much you can do off of raw talent. You have to start putting in work and diligence and focus. And so the problem that I see is that people have a desire. They might even figure out what they want to do, but out of fear won't do it because they think it's not good enough work. And this is going back to an Instagram clip I made. It's not about faking it until you make it or being petrified and not doing anything. It's about getting started, get your foot through the door, gain feedback, improve, and do it over and over again. A lot of people get stuck on the beginning. It's a rough patch. It's like anything, there's a learning curve, and you need to make sure that you get past that initial hump before you actually start seeing fruits. Asparagus, you have to grow that shit for several months before you actually get a edible crop, an edible harvest, right? So you have to grow it out, basically toss it. So it's all this money that you're putting into it, all this work you're putting into it, all this time, and it looks like it's doing something, and then it just crumbles before your eyes because you realize that you can't really eat that first crop. So at least this is from what I'm recalling in my research. I don't know if I'm 100% factual, so feel free to double check me on that. But something of the sort. It just takes a while to get exactly where you want to be. And other things, it's like learning how to move quickly, in life, business, it seems like it's very agile. This little recession that we're going through right now has really got me thinking about how fast we have to adapt in this modern age. If you think of a business idea, really, if you are capable of doing it and you feel strongly enough about it, you could try it out at small scale, at pilot scale, and then try and get it up into enterprise if you can. I mean, that's what the global model seems to be. But yeah, so I'm gonna tie up that notion, and I'm gonna enter something new in this video because I'm already getting another idea here. So basically, to sum it up one more time, right? It's not just about entering the game and feeling like you're gonna be a professional right away, or feeling like you're on par with very experienced individuals that have been doing this for a much longer time than you even consider this your pursuit of choice. So don't get hung up on that. Don't get hung up on, you know, your peers also being petrified, because I think everyone goes through the scared phase, but just how deep do you sink in the quicksand? Can you hop over the hole real quick, or are you gonna just get stuck in your thoughts and these different loops, keep giving excuses, keep giving other bullshit that's just gonna stop you from actually making the first play? You got to run a play to see if it's gonna work. A playbook is only a playbook until it's tested, and then you got yourself a play, you know, the play, right? The go-to, Old Faithful. And so that's the thing, we have to establish these systems of finding Old Faithful consistently and improving it from there too, because I mean, once you set it, if you don't even have a patent, people are going to be probably following you up within the next quarter or two. If you do have a patent, you got 2 years. I believe it's 2 years, maybe check me on that too. But you got 2 years, and then you're back at you know, level ground. And to be honest, in 2 years or even before then, they might find something to improve upon what you've done, not just match you. So people are quick learners. They say monkey see, monkey do. Well, people see, people improve. So yeah, I mean, just don't get stuck on it. And so I guess the big definition I want to do here for the word thing that I was getting into in my other video, so check that out. There's one I play on words, but it's basically knowing what to do, like, so having actual knowledge and desire. If the desire is there, act. Maybe obviously give it a little bit of thought, but obviously if you don't know things, then you need to go learn. If you're completely ignorant as to where to even begin, just start researching anything regarding the industry and work your way in from there. You got to find your entry point, because without an entry point, I mean, you can find yourself going in circles, you can find yourself going off on tangents that don't even really matter because you don't have a clear-cut goal. So figure out what interests you more in an organic fashion, and, you know, take it from there. And you might find your industry segment that might be your, you know, your bread and butter. Eventually you might build, you know, your steak and just have like all the other stuff be your potatoes, you know. You got options. You can always adapt and evolve your business as well. So if you learn something new that regards that business, you can now add it to your lineup of services and offerings. There's no rules against that. Obviously, if it's a completely different industry, you might have to start a new business, but it just depends, right? And I'm looking at that now too. So you know, you got options here. There's different ways to format stuff too to make it fit into the same business, but from my understanding now, and it's very incomplete, but I'm seeing that so many people start multiple LLCs just to get one business model done. The holding company, you know, the accounts payable company, you know, or operating expense company, the payroll, or, you know, like all these bank accounts and different LLCs. It's nuts. So that's what I'm gonna be tackling next on a personal level, so that I can start getting into that enterprise ideology, because I've really had the notion that I want to try and pursue venture capital with some ideas that I have, like potluck, and I had one that I had called therapist, which is one of the first entries I made into my you know, entrepreneurship notebook. It was back in, man, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, maybe 2016 that I was writing that stuff. Maybe before then, I don't remember. It was either sophomore or junior year of college. So yeah, 16 or 15. But I wrote these notes down of like, there's a great app that I wanted, like, therapists to be able to call you from wherever, you know, and you can FaceTime basically on its own proprietary system and all that. Basically, what's being instated by a lot of hospital systems now, or doctor systems, you get to do, you know, doctor visits digitally. Well, I mean, for the therapy section, I think mental health is still, you know, not as recognized as it should be in, you know, Western society, and I think in any society really. You know, suicide and complacency run rampant, and I think it's really limiting, you know, not just productivity, right? Because it's not just about that, but also our happiness and the experiences we live through our lives, you know, which I think correlate together. So that's the big thing there. You know what? I'm gonna lap it. Yep. I'm getting those steps in. 10K a day. I'm not hitting it every day, but I'm trying to get active. So, as before, I would only do, like, let's say, 8 to 10K, like 3 times a week. Right now, I'm still doing that, but on my off days where I, you know, not off, but like the ones that I don't happen to get out there like that, I'm still racking in about 5 to 6, up to even 8. So, close to 8, right? Like 7.5, something like that. But I just don't count it as 8 to 10 or 10 plus. But that's a random tangent. Where was I going with this? There was a second point here. Maybe that was it. Yeah, I guess I'll cut it off from here. It's already getting really long. So, catch you on the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe. And again, if you are watching this, you know, feel free to give me a suggestion on something you want to discuss, or if you want to start a talk show, I'm really down to sit down and just really have a discussion, you know. Light up a little stogie or something. No, not necessarily. We don't have to. I mean, I'm free to move around in that space though, so let me know.